Hi Gibson Gators, I'm going to show you how to use the kiln in the kiln room. If you have done a project using B-mix, mid-fire gray clay with a cone fire of 6 or maybe even 5, it'll work. This will work for that. I recommend the gray clay because if you use the red clay, which is an option, you can do it. Red clay does stain clothing, so I tend not to use that one because I don't want to deal with the dyeing process. So I have to use the gray clay, mid-fire clay B mix again, and then once you've done your project, you're going to let it dry for a while. If you put it in here and it's moist, the more moist it is, if you have like moisture bubbles in it, it could cause your clay projects to explode in the kiln. So I like to let them dry for like a week, maybe 2 weeks at most before you put them in here. If you have one that's like super big and not thin at all, like really thin, really thick, it's going to take a lot longer to dry out, and it's got a lot more potential for blowing up. So what I would do if that happens is maybe put it in here if you want to fire them all at once. Put it in here and then build a little fort around it with these things so that if it does explode, it won't take anybody's clay project out in the process. So that's how I would do that. Just let it sit for a little bit and air dry and then put it in here. You might need more than one shelf. So if you put them all in here and they don't all fit, then you put these things in these pillars, and then that will allow you to add another shelf. So then you pick up one of these guys, one of these shelves here. Oh, this is hard to do with one hand. I think I won't do it with one hand. And you put it in, and there's 2 sides to this shelf. One of them is clean, and one of them's a little like white and kind of gritty. And you want to put your clay projects on the gritty side. It helps. I'm not sure how it helps, but they told me that it helps. I think it's so that it doesn't stick so much to the cleaner side. So you want to do that, and then you just put it on top of those, and then you put more projects on top. So you can make stacks of projects and fire them all at once in here. Once all your projects are in here and you're ready to fire it, and if you've used the mid-fire clay, then I'll show you how you can set the controls over here. To do that, first you're going to come over here and hit the vent switch because you want to turn the vent on. So when you hear that noise, you'll know that the air is flowing, and you want that because it gets really, really hot in here, and if you don't turn that on, I'm not really sure how hot it's going to become, but it may cause problems. So you make sure you turn the vent on, and then you turn it off when you're done later on. And then you come over here to the machine, and behind the machine there's an on-off switch. You're going to click, actually I'm going to close this first. So before I do that, I have to unhook this. I'm going to do this real quick. And close the lid. And then I latch it right here. There. And it's latched into place right here. And now I'm going to turn it on. So I flip the switch over here. And it's now this machine part, you should see something over here on the screen. And here is my cheat sheet for if you're using a mid-fire cone. Then you can use this to input all of your information here and program it. I usually come first thing in the morning, like around 8 or a little before 8, and I turn it off around 4 o'clock. I wouldn't come in earlier. I don't think it will be done. If you see the CPLT, I believe that means that your project is complete, and so this is still going from the last job that was on here. It remembers the controls from the last job. So here are my directions. First, you turn on turn on kiln. The screen should say idle. So this one does not say idle. See, I'm going to click on cone fire. See if that helps. Cone fire. Uh-oh. Maybe I will go and stop instead. Oh, now it says idle. Okay, so now that it's saying idle, because I want to say idle here, I'm going to click cone fire. And then I'm going to enter all zeros and press enter. So, because it wants to know about preheating, and I'm not going to preheat it. So this is how I want to preheat it. I don't want to do it. I'm going to press enter. And then it wants me to enter the cone fire. It remembers my last job. I've always been doing 06 for all of these. So if it's already there, you probably can just press start. Just to make sure, I'm gonna press 06 again and then press enter. I like to make sure. And then it says speed. So we're gonna enter the speed now. You're gonna do a medium fire, so we're gonna do a medium speed. So I'm over here for cone fire mode, I'm gonna click on medium. And then it says medium here, and then I'm gonna press enter, I think. Enter, where is enter? There. And then it says hold, it wants to do my hold time, and I forgot what that means, but I remember that I don't wanna do it. So I'm gonna press 00 and press enter again, because I don't wanna do a hold time. So, and then enter. And then Kiln returns to idle mode, which is perfect. And when I'm all done, I'm gonna press, when it's like that, I'm gonna press start right here, and it'll start cooking my project. It will take a very long time for it to reach its, the temperature that it needs to be in order to actually cook the clay, but it's gonna be cooking here like for 8 hours, so, so it'll be okay. I don't like to leave this on overnight because I am not sure what will happen if I do, and I like to be present or have people present on campus when I'm cooking it. So I come in at 8 o'clock in the morning or a little before and I start it, and then around 4 o'clock in the afternoon I come back and I turn it off. When you do come back and turn it off in the afternoon that you're cooking it, do not open the kiln that day. It's gonna be super hot inside. And if you open the kiln up while it's that hot, your projects are going to go into shock and you'll probably crack some of them. So once you have, but we'll pretend that it's done right now. It's all done, it says complete. I come back at the end of the day and I can press stop actually, but I usually I press, I just come over here and I turn it off here. And then I turn off, I leave the vent on because it's still really hot in here, and I leave for the day. And then tomorrow, after it's had a chance to cool down and vent out everything, then I come in and I open it up and I can take out all my projects. But I don't take them out the first day. They'll be too hot to touch and you could crack them. So just make sure that you turn it off, leave the vent on, leave it for a day and come back tomorrow or the next day. It'll just be sitting here for a while. I think that's everything. Okay, now I'll show you real quick. Here's my quick notes right here. I will try to print up a copy so you can just look at them. But those are all of the steps that you'll need when you come in on the morning to turn it on. And I usually load it the day before and then I just come in the morning of and press all the buttons. All right, I hope that helps.